How do I save a trained model in PyTorch? How do I save a trained model in PyTorch? I have read that. Torch.save. Torch.load is for saving/loading a serializable object, model.state_dict. Model.load_state_dict is for saving/loading model state.
Found this page on their GitHub repo. Recommended approach for saving a model. Here are two main approaches for serializing and restoring a model. The first, recommended, saves and loads only the model parameters. Then later. The second saves and loads the entire model. Then later. However, in this case, the serialized data is bound to the specific classes and the exact directory structure used, so it can break in various ways when used in other projects, or after some serious refactors. See also, save and load the model section from the official PyTorch tutorials.
It depends on what you want to do. Case number 1, save the model to use it yourself for inference. You save the model, you restore it, and then you change the model to evaluation mode. This is done because you usually have batch norm and dropout layers that by default are in train mode on construction. Case number 2, save model to resume training later. If you need to keep training the model that you are about to save, you need to save more than just the model. You also need to save the state of the optimizer, epochs, score, etc. You would do it like this. To resume training you would do things like, state equals torch.load file path, and then, to restore the state of each individual object, something like this. Since you are resuming training, do not call model.eval once you restore the states when loading. Case number 3, model to be used by someone else with no access to your code. In TensorFlow you can create the .pb file that defines both the architecture and the weights of the model. This is very handy, especially when using TensorFlow Serve. The equivalent way to do this in PyTorch would be This way is still not bulletproof, and since PyTorch is still undergoing a lot of changes, I wouldn't recommend it.
The PicklePython library implements binary protocols for serializing and deserializing a Python object. When you import Torch, or when you use PyTorch, it will import pickle for you, and you don't need to call pickle.dump and pickle.load directly, which are the methods to save and to load the object. In fact, torch.save and torch.load will wrap pickle.dump and pickle.load for you. A state_dict, the other answer mentioned, deserves just a few more notes. What state_dict do we have inside PyTorch? There are actually two state_dicts. The PyTorch model is torch.nn.module, which has model.parameters called to get learnable parameters, W and B. These learnable parameters, once randomly set, will update over time as we learn. Learnable parameters are the first state_dict. The second state_dict is the optimizer state dict. You recall that the optimizer is used to improve our learnable parameters. But the optimizer state_dict is fixed. Nothing to learn there. Because state_dict objects are Python dictionaries, they can be easily saved, updated, altered, and restored, adding a great deal of modularity to PyTorch models and optimizers. Let's create a super simple model to explain this. This code will output the following. Note this is a minimal model. You may try to add stack of sequential. Note that only layers with learnable parameters, convolutional layers, linear layers, etc., and registered buffers, batch norm layers, have entries in the model state_dict. Non-learnable things belong to the optimizer object state_dict, which contains information about the optimizer's state, as well as the hyperparameters used. The rest of the story is the same. In the inference phase, this is a phase when we use the model after training. For predicting, we do predict based on the parameters we learned. So for the inference, we just need to save the parameters model.state_dict. And to use later. Model.load_state_dict torch.load file path model.eval. Note, don't forget the last line model.eval. This is crucial after loading the model. Also don't try to save torch.save model.parameters file path. The model.parameters is just the generator object. On the other hand, torch.save model file path saves the model object itself, but keep in mind the model doesn't have the optimizer's state_dict. Check the other excellent answer by @Jodier de Armas to save the optimizer's state_dict.
A common PyTorch convention is to save models using either a pt or pth file extension. Save/load entire model. Save. Load. Model class must be defined somewhere.
Watch as you as hospitals.